What's up, man? I want to talk about Kyrie Irving, Mr. Kyrie Irving, man. The other night, he got lit up by, Kimber Walker lit up Boston. I mean, but he's the point guard. You know what I'm saying? And Kyrie Irving is a point guard, so they're supposed to match up with each other, guard each other. They guard each other essentially. And I guess Kyrie, I think he get hurt or something like that. He checked himself out the game. He was upset. He came out and said that they should have doubled Kimber Walker more. And I get that. You know what I'm saying? Great players really can't stop each other. But this is why I get a little upset about today's NBA players. They're not used to playing defense, man. And when it's called upon for them to play defense, they act like it's a crime or they don't know what to do. And if Kimber Walker lighting y'all up, a lot of that got to do with you. You're not checking your man. See, this is why when people say that Steph Curry, Kyrie Irving, and these new age point guards are better than a point guard like Isaiah Thomas. I ain't talking about Isaiah Thomas that used to play for Boston. I'm talking about Isaiah Thomas that used to play for the Detroit Pistons, the bad boy Detroit Pistons. Isaiah Thomas played defense, man. Isaiah Thomas not only lit you up on the offensive end, he checked his man. You were looked upon back then to play defense. There was no such thing as a two-way player. They didn't even talk about two-way players. Oh, he played defense, he played offense. You know why they talking about two-way player right now? Because there's a lot of people that don't play defense. That's why they come up with this term, two-way player. Now, I'm not saying it was everybody back in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s and late 80s were great defenders. I'm not saying they were all great defenders. What I'm saying is you had to guard your man to a certain point. Like I said, great players cannot stop other great players one on one. You got to have a team defense to be able to do that. Understand that. But you cannot let your man go off for 40, 50, 60 points, man. That just can't happen. Without you, you have to foul out. You have to foul out. If you ain't fouled out and your man got 60 points or your man got 50, your man got 45 points, you're not playing hard defense. You're not getting physical with him like you're supposed to break his rhythm. At least get physical with him to break his rhythm. Yes, NBA, talented NBA players, especially the ones that's on that second and first tier, they can go off. I'm not saying they can't go off, but you have to do something to break the rhythm. You can't just continue letting them go off the whole game. You know what I'm saying? And Kyrie Irving showing first station, like I told people at the beginning of this year, I told people this was going to happen. Yes, Boston is going to make the playoffs. I don't know how far they're going to go in the playoffs. They got the potential to go all the way to the championship. And they have the potential of losing in the first round because of the mindset of the team. You know what I'm saying? Kyrie Irving drives the pulse of that team. If he's up, the team is up. If he's down, the team is down. When they beat Golden State, they were all happy, go lucky. Kyrie Irving was happy. The team was up. They beat I believe after they beat Golden State, they went on to beat Sacramento. Everybody was happy. Kyrie was happy, so everybody was happy. But I told people in the beginning of this year that Kyrie Irving does not fit with the team. He does not fit with that team. He dribbles the air out the ball too much. Now, he will come out and have games where he'll have 9, 10 assists. You know what I'm saying? Then he'll come out with 3 or 4 straight games when he have like 4 assists. He's not an assist guy, or he has not transitioned his mind to being more of a traditional point guard. And when the team needs you to go off, then go off. See, that's what Isaiah Thomas did for the Detroit Pistons. When he first came in the league, he was a volume shooter. He shot a lot for Detroit. Then Detroit started getting better. Chuck Daly came to him and said, Isaiah, what you want to do? You want to win championships or you want to score a lot of points? He said you want to win championships. Okay, you got to play like this. You got to scale your shots back. Instead of taking 25 shots a game, you got to take like 15, 16 shots a game. Instead of only averaging 4 assists, you got to average 10 assists. Instead of averaging 26, 27 points, you got to bring that down to 19 points because we got Dumars. We got Mark Aguirre. You know what I'm saying? But they had Adrian Dantley first, then they had Mark Aguirre. You know what I'm saying? We got Dennis Rodman on the team. We got Bill Laimbeer on the team. We got all these weapons around you. We got Vinny Microwave Johnson coming off the bench. You don't have to, play the way you played before you had talent around you. And that's what Kyrie Irving has to understand. All this talent around you, you supposed to be making Jaylen Brown a better basketball player, Jason Tatum a better basketball player, Al Horford, Marquise Morris. You're supposed to make all these. That's the duty of the point guard. The point guard is the extension of the coach on the court because the coach can't be on the court. He's supposed to take the coach's brain, put it into his body, and go on the court and perform and run the team. That's what the point guard's supposed to do. The point guard is not supposed to be out there shooting 30 times a game, man. And no one is in rhythm. Jason Tatum is not in rhythm. Jaylen Brown is a slasher. He's not in rhythm. Al Horford needs the ball mid post. Marquise Morris needs the ball mid range to post. You know what I'm saying? To mid post. And I told people, I said, the Boston Celtics now they probably won't win a championship without without a guy like Kyrie that can put the ball in the basket and take over games. You know what I'm saying? Because they're still fairly young, and Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum is not ready yet to take over that mantle. But in a couple years, they would have been ready. In a couple years, they will be ready to do that, to take on the Kyrie Irving role. But it'll be 2 instead of 1, and they're bigger and they're stronger than Kyrie. You know what I'm saying? And more explosive of athlete than Kyrie. But last year, with Gordon Hayward and Kyrie out, the Boston Celtics made it to the Eastern Conference Finals and took LeBron James Game 7. And inexperience is what lost them that game because they shot too many threes down the stretch. You know what I'm saying? So, Scary Terry, if I was Danny Ainge, well, he probably wouldn't have got a lot for Kyrie, but should have probably came into this season, the beginning of the season, and traded Kyrie off the bat. Just right off the bat. And see what he can. He probably could have. Now, if he couldn't get no really great package of players back because the team would only have Kyrie for 1 year, he probably could have got, some young, promising players or some veterans because that team need a couple more veterans. Can use a couple more veterans, and he probably could have got a draft pick. You know what I'm saying? What Danny Ainge is really known to doing is getting a draft commodity. He probably could have got a really good draft pick. You know what I'm saying? But I understand him holding on to Kyrie, but Kyrie is not going to sign back with Boston, man. The writing is on the wall, man. The man is frustrated for some reason. You know what I'm saying? We heard him early in the season say that the young players need to basically bow down to him, and these young players are not going to do that. These millennials, he's a millennial too. They're not gonna bow down to you, Kyrie. Yeah, you won a title, but they look at it like that's LeBron James' title. That's how they look at it. So they're not gonna bow down to you. So I believe Kyrie is out. I don't know where he's going, but I believe he's out. I believe this is the last year for him at Boston. And I think Boston would be better off for it. I'm telling y'all. Boston got 3 draft picks in this draft alone. And 2 of them can be lottery picks. And they got young players. See what happened was they alienated, because of Kyrie, alienated Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. And kind of stunted their growth because both of them players took a step back this year from last year. Both of them took a step back, and they taking a step back because of Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving coming in, just dribbling the air at the ball. See, a lot of these NBA players, people say, "Oh, there may be better athletes overall than when I was in my heyday of watching basketball when I was growing up." It may be more of them. But these guys, just because you're a better athlete doesn't mean you know how to play basketball. And that doesn't mean you know how to play winning basketball. You know what I'm saying? Kyrie Irving don't know how to play. He doesn't understand how to play winning basketball. Because if he did, I'm telling y'all, if he knew what it took to play winning basketball, he wouldn't take 30 shots a game as the point guard. He wouldn't only average 4 assists. Same with Russell Westbrook. You wouldn't take 30. Now, I'm gonna give Russell Westbrook some credit. He did take a step back for Paul George. He was able to take a step back mentally and physically as far as taking a lot of shots, mentally as far as trying to be a point guard. Now, it's not easy doing what Russell Westbrook and Kyrie have to do because they've been doing it for so long. They've been taking a lot of shots for so long. So I'm not saying it's easy to do what they need to do. But they need to do it if they want if they want their team to be successful. They need to do it. And Russell Westbrook has done that. So you have to give him a lot of credit for doing that. But Kyrie has no interest in doing it. None. None. And I told people at the beginning of the year, the Boston team that was last year, that you seen last year, is not going to be the same Boston team. They play way better. They play loose. They play more energetic without Kyrie. And Kyrie is not a defender either. So he makes them worse on the defensive end when he's in the game. He's taking 30 shots, not making a lot of good decisions, and he's giving up a lot of points on defense. But let me know what y'all think, man. I think Boston has the potential, like I said, to go to the championship, and they have the potential of getting knocked out in the first round, depending on the matchup.